Hi, everyone. My name is Jim Gast, and I'm with SpliceNet Consulting based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Staring out the window to some lovely snow, and I hope you are too. So let me tell you why we're here today. Let me give you a little bit of background about myself to start with, and then we'll dive right in to getting you your Microsoft benefits for not-for-profit. So first off, as I said, Jim Gast, SpliceNet Consulting, based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have been working with law firms now for probably well over 25 years, served probably 300, 400 law firms in that time in some way, shape, or fashion. And so what I've found is that I've encountered a number of nonprofit legal entities that have needed assistance in some way. I've seen nonprofits just excel in their missions and excel in and thrive, and then I've seen nonprofits struggle, especially during COVID. And so, I recently partnered up with Microsoft. There's a special initiative with Microsoft. My company, we partnered up to help nonprofits take advantage of their benefits coming from Microsoft. And so, with the success I've had with the web show and podcast for law firms, when I looked at it and I said, well, I can help 1 and 2 and 3 at a time, right? But why not do a web show and a podcast specifically dedicated to nonprofits? And so thus was born the idea of No Nonprofit Left Behind. And so it may be a little corny, but it really is, the goal is to help nonprofits not be left behind and take advantage of, various benefits and techniques and resources that they've got at their disposal that I may know about or our community may know about. So here we are. Before we get started into the benefits, I've created a LinkedIn group. You can see it here on the screen. My finger's kind of pointing right at it. Go to this link right here. Sorry, I wish I could give you a really pretty link, but LinkedIn doesn't allow us to have vanity links for their groups. But by all means, go to that link and join the No Nonprofit Left Behind group on LinkedIn. We'll put lots of great content. It'll be an incredible forum for our members to join and collaborate together and share in ideas and concepts and resources, so on and so forth. One further thing, if you do have a question, please chat it. I'm pretty sure on our platform, we do get to see some of the questions. There we go. I wanted to make sure I was live on LinkedIn. We do get to see some of the platforms. We may not see the questions, but we always go back and look at them afterwards. And I'm just double checking to make sure that I've got a good live video stream. We did one, our No Law Firm Left Behind, on Wednesday was a show that the video didn't feed, and I was really, really disappointed in that. But it looks like we're live on YouTube at least, so at least we've got that. Anyway, so we're here today to talk about taking advantage of your Microsoft benefits. Let me get this thing off the screen. And so, did you know, for example, that you can get discounted Microsoft services as a not-for-profit? I was sitting last night and I was working on this presentation, and I hate presentations, so forgive me for using that word, but I was working on the show and I saw this and I'm like, I didn't even know this was there. Had I known this, I'd have pointed more people in this direction. So the goal today is to help you tap into your Microsoft resources. I'm not going to show you anything about how to use Microsoft 365. I'm going to show you how to take advantage of the resources they've got available for you, show you how to apply for them as best I can, right? And then kind of pull back the curtain on it, and show you what's behind all those resources so that you can go get them. First thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to pop this up on the screen, get myself out of the way. This is the initiative that I'm a part of. It's called Tech for Social Impact. And so Tech for Social Impact, it's an initiative for Microsoft to help people learn, in not-for-profits, learn more about their tools and how it can help them further their missions in their not-for-profits. For example, I've seen things like Microsoft Teams. I've seen Azure. I've seen a number of initiatives. These are seminars. These are webinars, all geared towards the not-for-profit. And then so what happens is at the end of these events, Microsoft will reach out to you. And believe me, this is a big thing for Microsoft to reach out. You don't typically see this that often. they'll reach out to you and make sure that you've gotten your questions answered. Okay. So see the link here at the top, or you can just go do a search for tech for social impact Microsoft, and you'll find that easily on the web. And then you can tap into all the resources. Like for example, I think they've got a let's see, overview, which is the one I was looking at today. Digital transformation journey. What is that, right? Everybody talks about it. How do we move from, to a digital type of environment? And so you drill down into it, and look, there's another event coming up. You can see the entire series on the event. But yeah, Tech for Social Impact, great website. Now, Microsoft's got a specific site only for not-for-profits, like geared only for not-for-profits. So if you look at the Microsoft industry page, not-for-profits not even on there. Everybody else is lumped together, all right? And so nonprofits get their own section completely. And so it is nonprofit.microsoft.com. It'll fill in the rest for you, all right? And this is where you can go to apply for your nonprofit benefits from Microsoft. Now, oh, by the way, forgive me. I'm doing the live stream from home. I like to do all the live streams from home. But the only problem is I do have dogs. And if the Amazon guy comes, well, you just kind of know what's going to happen. My apologies in advance. So the first thing I would say, they've really made it very easy for nonprofits. It's 1, 2, and 3 steps, right? Really, honestly, it's kind of 1 and 2 steps. If you ask me, the rest is just tapping in and learning. Okay. And so you can register. Before you register, though, I think it's important that you should take a look at the eligibility page, because a lot of groups that consider themselves nonprofit, which, very well are nonprofits, might not be eligible. So what I would say is look at the eligibility page and make sure. So you have to be equal to a 501c3 status. Okay. Now I've seen other entities make it beyond that because of some special reasoning. So I wouldn't let that stop me from applying. Microsoft can approve or deny. And, if they deny and you feel like it wasn't the right decision for Microsoft to deny your not-for-profit eligibility through them, by all means, I would actually ask for an exception and email them back. So that's the first thing. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm blind. Sorry about that. And so let's take a look at some of these. You must have obtained a legal status in your respective country for not-for-profit. That's obviously important. Governmental organizations and agencies and museums and stuff are non-for-profit, right? Schools, colleges, and universities. There are some things about those that have to fall under educational. So, but I would definitely read up on the eligibility here. Healthcare organizations limited to. Let's see, these are ineligible. Sorry, nonprofits that have not. Okay, so that's the word. Sorry, not obtained. Government organizations and agencies. Now, just because you work for a government agency doesn't mean it. Maybe you're an offshoot of a government agency. In that case, you may be eligible. Schools and colleges. There may be a department that isn't like it is affiliated with the college, but isn't part of the college. It is a not-for-profit. Healthcare organizations, same thing. But these are generally not eligible. Fraternal organizations, things of that nature. So I have seen fraternal organizations of certain types be eligible. So again, I wouldn't let this hold you up. I would, if you say we're a for-profit university, well, obviously. But I would definitely consider, maybe there's an element of what you're doing that is not for profit. Again, if you have any chat questions, put them in there. I may not see them, like I didn't see them on Facebook the other day. I will probably see the LinkedIn ones, and I will probably see the YouTube ones. So, all right. So there are some eligibility exceptions. I'm not going to go into all those. User licensing. How can you use the licensing that Microsoft donates to your not-for-profit? This is very important, okay? It is permitted for paid nonprofit employees, right? So you're sitting at your desk, you're getting a salary, you're eligible. End of story. Unpaid executive staff that act as senior leadership. And so I always like to look at that one right there. Board of directors. Yes, the board of directors can absolutely use these benefits in execution of their duties for the nonprofit. Presidents, officers, EDs, and EPDs and so on and so forth. So by all means, these are the people that are eligible. Now, I like how they put this. Okay, discount nonprofit offers are permitted for non-staff and volunteers. Technically speaking, and Microsoft will catch up eventually to people that are using this for people that come in as volunteers. So you're having an event and somebody comes in as a volunteer, that person is not eligible for the nonprofit licensing. Okay. In addition to that, nonprofit beneficiaries, donors, and members, such as churches, clubs, and sports teams, are not eligible. So if you're a member of a church or a club, just because it's a nonprofit, you don't get those benefits. Okay. And I don't believe the discounted offers are actually applied to them at all. So they have a nice little table. We're not going to go into it in depth, but you're welcome to do it. Again, go to the nonprofit page and link over down here to the eligibility page right here. Now, down here, a couple of things. License restrictions. Yes, they're always going to have license restrictions on how you can use them. This is another thing. You have to say that, you have to comply with their non-discrimination requirements and compliances. So by all means, there's a couple of questions on that. It's not too much. The application process is not actually that bad. And they say 10 days, 14 days on the application process. I actually had one we did 2 weeks ago that I did on a Thursday, was approved on a Saturday. So they actually are churning through them pretty fast these days. Now, you don't have to go to a group like TechSoup. You don't have to go to a partner to do this. By all means, if you want to do this, I welcome you. I welcome you to call me. I'll help you through the process, no charge. I'll walk you through it. It's very easy to do. But partners can do this with you, but they don't have to do it for you. I just want you to know that. So Microsoft reserves the right to grant or deny an organization. All right. Yes, they do. I've seen them get turned down. Here's some other questions. That there's a place you can contact them about it. Now, I found a nice frequently asked questions page also right here. So I would, if you have any questions about the process before you get into it, go to the FAQs, and the FAQs are actually pretty good. They talk about TechSoup, talk about installing and using your software, eligibility, what's included, all these various things. And we're going to talk on a lot of these things. You're seeing one big one right there. So great FAQs. By the way, another thing I learned yesterday, I should have thought about it. I just never, it's one of those things where we're not doing it so much anymore, but Microsoft actually offers on-premise software, not just their cloud software, for nonprofits at a discount and actually donations in some cases. So yeah, go to the frequently asked questions, great stuff. But it all starts really right here, nonprofit.microsoft.com. So once you applied, let's go ahead and click on that page, and it'll bring up to a registration page. Simple. I'm not going to go through, well, you know what? I'll go through it and just kind of bomb out at the end. Okay. I don't want any of this stuff right here. United States is good. Let's take a look. Okay. And then, well, of course, I want to escape this because I don't want, I have a domain that already recognizes my email address. Let's go put something in that's crazy. Let's just try that. See if it takes it. Oh. These things never work out right when you want them to. Okay. And it sent me an email to verify, and then it would go into the next set of questions. We're not going to mess with this because it's a bogus email. So that email got bounced. Nevertheless, the process is really simple. If it takes you 10 minutes, I'd be surprised. The not-for-profit that I set up was a behavioral health organization. And literally we had them up and running in a matter of a couple of days in their tenant, and started their migration that weekend. So that is that. If you have any questions, again, put them in the chat. What I'm going to pop over here now and show you are the screenshots of once you get approved, what you see. And so these, because I can't use somebody's tenant, because I can't get us in there and apply for a not-for-profit, I'm just going to show you some screenshots of what's behind it. Forgive me, got to have that little bit of caffeine right there. So As you can see here, once you get logged in, once you're approved and you log in, by the way, you'll get your username and password just fine from Microsoft. You set up the username and password. Make sure you record that password. That's very important. Resetting it could probably be an issue if you're not technical. So talk about some of these from left to right, top to bottom. Microsoft 365. I hope you know what Microsoft 365 is. If you don't know what Microsoft 365 is, certainly we could talk about that a little bit more. But essentially, it's the ability to, everybody thinks it like email, right? It's an email platform for sure. It also includes at different levels, various features like maybe the Microsoft 365 or what's called Office software, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Microsoft Teams is included in this. You get online storage through OneDrive and SharePoint. Highly accessible. So it actually can make most organizations a cloud-based organization. Many not-for-profits that I'm working for are moving away from servers to the Microsoft 365 platform because they've got a cloud-based application that they might use for managing their donations or something like that, or managing development. So, why have servers if you don't need them anymore? And so Microsoft 365 is one of these things to get you there. We'll talk about some of the deeper products that are actually available in Microsoft 365 in just a little while. The other thing is Microsoft Azure, and you may not have ever heard of Microsoft Azure, and that's fine. But what is it? So what I want you to think of is in the past, we had servers on premise, right? If we had an application we needed to run, we installed it on a server, right? If we had a database, we installed it on a server. We had user accounts and policies and security set up on servers, right? And it could have been Microsoft stuff, or it could have been Linux stuff, or it could have been who knows, right? So Microsoft Azure is the Microsoft cloud analogy, if you will, to the on-premise environment that every business used to have. And so you can get servers in Microsoft 365 that you can run applications on. You can get terminal servers. You can get Windows desktops in Azure. So that really the only technology that you have to have on premise would be some type of device to connect to the cloud services in Microsoft Azure, and printers and maybe networks and switches and stuff like that. That's really it. And so you never have to have those capital investments any longer. And one of the cool things is that Microsoft realizes that it becomes an operating expense at that point. Well, depends on the type of not-for-profit you are. Some not-for-profits like those capital expenditures, and we get grants for them. Other ones like the operating expenses, so we can budget it every single year, and then we'll go get grants for that kind of stuff, right? So, they're giving you, by the way, a benefit here, and we'll talk about that benefit in a little while. The other thing most people don't know is that Microsoft includes Dynamics 365. And so what's Dynamics 365? Well, it's essentially business applications. And so Dynamics 365 used to be the CRM, Dynamics CRM, that Microsoft owned forever and people installed on servers. Well, they basically took it to the cloud, and now they have made it an incredible platform for doing business in. And so they've got a not-for-profit Dynamics 365 interface, if you will, for development. You can get accounting software that can run your whole not-for-profit, your whole organization. There's customer service modules, there's sales modules, there's marketing modules. There's so much there. I mean, touching on the tip of it. If you're like a retail not-for-profit, right? And I know that word might not go exactly hand in hand for not-for-profit, but maybe in a food bank situation, there's inventory modules and so on and so forth, or maybe a closet, like a donation closet, right? So that people can come and get coats in the winter or whatever. They have modules, if you will, or elements of Dynamics that help you run those types of businesses, and they're giving it to you essentially for next to nothing. And so we'll tap into that. We'll take a look at that. Now, I'm not going to go into all of these things. I'm going to really just kind of touch on the products, maybe down the road as we start to move forward with no nonprofit left behind. We'll go into detail with the actual individual products. And here's the other thing: engage donors and constituents, right? And so they're working on platforms to help you like Dynamics 365 Sales Enterprise, so that you can build your donation bank, right? Your donation contact list, and you can market to them appropriately, contact them appropriately, keep track of them. Fantastic notes. And when they donate, you can take that over into something of Business Central, and so it's allocated accordingly to the initiative that the fundraising was for. So it's not not actually spent in the wrong way. And also where you get grants and grant management, so we can make sure the grants are used for that specific thing, whether it's a technology initiative, or maybe it's an outreach initiative. Make sure those funds aren't commingled. All that can be done in Dynamics 365. I'm going to actually go through some of these. I should have probably just page through some of these. I'm going to go ahead and hit that now. So here's Microsoft 365 benefit, right? Once you get approved, then it automatically sets up the portal for you, and you would go log into it. The other thing, you're saying new here. Microsoft Business Voice is now part of the nonprofit, what they call charity SKUs. And there's a promotion where you can actually replace your phone systems and save money on telephone systems using Microsoft Business Voice through Teams. And it works really good. They got a Teams application for your mobile phone that, you can use it as a phone, right? It's a phone app, if you will. We use it. It works really well. You can also have Microsoft Teams, where you can have your soft phone on your computer. Plus, you can get a desk phone if you want to spend the money, and it would ring when your Teams line rings for you. So another great thing that they're always putting in new SKUs and new products to help nonprofits. So by all means, we're going to take a look at some of those in at the end here. Oh, actually, here we go. Here's some of the SKUs. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking straight here. Here are the most important ones that I see nonprofits use. Microsoft 365 business SKUs, right? And so that first section of it where it says business in it, it's meant for nonprofits that are below 300 users. Okay, so once you hit 300 users in any combination, actually on all of these products, for example, if you use 300 business premiums, you would not be able to use another business premium, but you could do 300 business standards and 300 business basics to get almost the same functionality. Again, I'm not going to go in depth what the products are. That's for another show. You can take note of these and go research them yourself, or I'll publish them in another show at some other point. The E-SKUs are for nonprofits that are enterprise level, so 300 and above, right? So can you use an E-SKU for anything below 300? Yeah, you can use an E-SKU for 25 users if you want to. It's just that they cost a little bit more, obviously. Notice, by the way, the biggest one, I think, look at the business premium. There's actually two things with business premium. They're giving away the first 10 for free, okay? And then $5 for additional. So hands down, when it comes to not-for-profit, the newest set of SKUs there, the business premium for not-for-profit, is one of the best deals that I think Microsoft's ever released, because it includes, I will tell you this, Office software for your computers, whether it's a Mac or an iPad or an iPhone or a PC, right? It includes the storage online. It includes the email. It includes Microsoft Teams. It includes Windows 10 software. So if you don't have Windows 10 on your computer, it will upgrade your computer to Windows 10. So that's a huge benefit right there. And then it also includes, email protection. So for spammers and hackers, right? So it's protecting the end user against email threats. And so great SKU, great product, $5, 10 of them free, $5 additional for each one after that. I am recommending that over every SKU to start with for people today. Now the E3, higher level SKU, more stuff included, but it's $8 a month. It includes about all the same stuff. E5, really high level product. E1, it's really pretty much just email only. And then you see at the dynamic SKUs at the bottom. Let me tell you something about these dynamic SKUs. This is cheap. Some of these SKUs are more than half off, and they're not giving them away. And I think there's a promo that I heard about, but I didn't have a chance to look into it. Is there a promo where even Dynamics might be free at a certain SKU level, but don't Don't hold me to that just yet. Okay, I'm going to research that, and I'll put it in the notes of this event afterwards. So Power Automate, Power Apps, all these things are so much cheaper for nonprofits, and all you got to do is be qualified and be eligible and get approved, and you can get these things. So your Azure grant. I think Azure, again, is the cloud service, and I know it is. I think it's one of the better benefits, because if you want to get rid of your servers are aging, and you need to be looking at replacing hardware. Yeah, you could go for that capital expenditure and that great big expensive project that some IT company is going to charge you for it. And then 5 years down the road, hopefully it's 5 years, you're replacing that server and spending that money all over again. Or you could not spend the money for the hardware now, span that out over time, essentially make that an operating expense and spend, Azure subscription money and pay for that project one time, okay? And never have to pay for that expensive IT company project over and over again. Or use your resources in your nonprofit to spend the time and energy that it takes and distraction on that project over and over again. So Microsoft's giving you $3,500 a year in Azure spend. And depending on your usage, that could go fast, that could go slow. It really kind of depends on your nonprofit. So there are plenty of tools that we've got that will help us determine that by evaluating what you've already got going on and kind of give you that cost. But $3,500 is nothing to sneeze at. I know nonprofits that actually benefit the entire year for that $3,500. So but that's a way to move all your stuff to the cloud, get everything off, get rid of your servers, and talk about work from anywhere. Work from anywhere on steroids for you, because it becomes you're not tied to that office. You're not tied to connection to the office anymore. You can work from home very easily. So hopefully we're coming out of COVID, but this is a big deal right now. Oh, by the way, they did mention they have a concierge on there. So an onboarding concierge. Usually that might be somebody like us, or it might be a Microsoft, depending on how it comes about. Dynamics 365. Look, they're giving you the sales enterprise, and it's got to be accessed to, I don't know that I think it is actually donated here. So it's a grant. So it's sales enterprise is that one to help you keep track of donations. Power apps, and so they're not necessarily giving it away for free. Yeah, free 10 up to 10 seats, and then discounted after that, which is really cheap. I think it's usually like $6 or something like that, or $8 a seat. And that is a platform that you can actually develop reports and dashboards and automation and so on and so forth. So these two things combined can be incredible for you to help in development for your not-for-profit and reach your mission. So by all means, I would not turn away at these. And then if training courses, lots of training courses through the TSI, through the online resources in the not-for-profit site. There's a lot of great stuff here. So it's Dynamics is a really expensive application. For them to give this to you as a grant, it's amazing. And then they also want to help you using Sales Enterprise, get fundraising and engagement modules for free, right? And so, they'll help you tap into that and help you develop a process around the development and engagement using Sales Enterprise. Another free benefit. Hardware. This was one I said I was shocked by. I had no idea that this was available. I know we could do it as a discount, but I didn't know that Microsoft actually had one. So look at that. You just send an email to them and they'll get a hold of you. Very simple. And so again, it has to be used following the eligibility requirements. Board of directors, executive directors, paid employees, but not interns and volunteers. They're not going to be eligible for this. So this is quite an interesting one. I've not looked into it. I'm going to look into it a little bit further with one of my nonprofits here really soon. LinkedIn for nonprofits. Who'd thunk, right? So on that page, they actually have a whole nonprofit section on LinkedIn that it'll take you to, where you can tap into so much of LinkedIn. And so I haven't really investigated this. This is going to be one I'm going to be looking at next. After the Surface one, but They're helping thousands and thousands of nonprofits through talent, relationship building, funding, so on, brand awareness, so on and so forth. I don't know the extent of this, but we will definitely be having a show on this one specifically. I think this is going to be a huge one, but it's there. You're welcome to go start looking into it on your own. Today is about uncovering these things for you, pulling back the curtain and showing it to you. And there's the page on LinkedIn. Did a quick screenshot on that. Again, I didn't dive into it. We're going to have some fun with this one, I think. And then GitHub. So if you're a developer and you want to put code or manage code, so on and so forth, if you have developers in your nonprofit, then you get GitHub at a discount. And then, of course, there's training courses and so on and so forth as far as resources. So lots of partners out there. We're a Microsoft partner. We help, we train, we facilitate all these things. I know getting these things can be overwhelming, but come to a partner like us, for example, and we'll guide you through the process and help you where necessary. I think that this one right here, I think they put this so small that they shouldn't have, because Microsoft is really doing the cloud push. But I saw this at the bottom and I discovered myself, there's the on-premise software licenses that they're granting. And so I didn't know anything about it myself. So I drilled into it. And so there's donations, obviously to TechSoup. We knew that, right? But there's also software discounts that can be pushed through partners like us. And so that's a place you can go look at. I'm going to investigate the ones sent to partners because nobody's ever done that yet. And maybe I should be pushing them in this direction. We usually get the software at a really good discount for our nonprofits anyway. So there we go. That's what I've got today for you. Let me pop this off of here. Again, Jim Gass with No Nonprofit Left Behind. And I would say that in the next session, let's see, we'll probably peel back the curtain and go into some of the products that are in the SKUs that are available for not-for-profits. Give you a little bit of deeper dive into those. I think what I'll do is I'll take a poll and see if people are more interested in Azure, more interested in the products, more interested in Dynamics, and see how that plays out before I determine what I go into next specifically. But I can guarantee you in the next few shows over the next few weeks, and we're going to do this every Friday at 9:30 in the morning. And we're going to get you up and running in your Microsoft not-for-profit benefit and resources in a matter of no time, right? So listen, that's all I've got for today. I didn't have any questions, but again, if your questions didn't come through on my chat, that's fine. I'm sorry that I didn't see them on the platforms, but I will go look at all the platforms and I'll make sure that I respond to you. So again, take care. Oh, don't forget one last thing, if you don't mind. Go join the LinkedIn group that I put together for us. It's called No Nonprofit Left Behind. It's at wonderful 12500-769 at the end of it. And I'll also create a podcast for everyone on these here real soon as well. So there'll be a podcast available. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Take care.